Hey everybody, welcome back. So I've been working on this now about a week since my last update, and I've gotten the top wing done, and then a lot of this area up in here done. Full disclaimer, I do not like the way this design is turning out. I don't think it has enough color variety. And if I would have the original, these are supposed to be like sunflowers, and if I had the original paper, I think I would have mapped out where the flowers were going to be and changed their colors from my own, because there's only 23 colors in this whole thing, and I just feel like that's not enough of a contrast. So I think I'm going to go back through with a color and back stitch in the flowers. And I think this is supposed to be a flower up in here. That don't look like a flower. This doesn't look like a flower. So I don't know. And I think, I don't know what, maybe multiple little flowers. One here. I don't know. But yeah, I don't really care for this pattern all that much. I'm going to keep going just in case it does turn into something pretty at the end. I've parked 2 threads in more solid areas, so that way I didn't have to change my colors as much. I have been working on this for about a week since the last time you've seen it, and needless to say, I think I made okay progress. It's probably not as much as some others would be making on this, but again, I stitch in hand. I'm slower at it. I'm more in it for the process than the entire completed piece. Although it would be nice once I finish this to, I want to see what it's going to look like, because the pattern online was super cute, and I'm just not liking it. So we will see. And if I do end up wanting to make this pattern again, number one, I would change the background color if my Aida cloth was white. I do prefer to, if I'm working on a pattern like that's not stamped, I do prefer to work on a different colored Aida cloth. I usually pick like oatmeal, which is like a light brown. I could leave the background white, but as it stands, I don't think you're really going to be able to tell. Once this blue is gone, I don't think you're really going to be able to tell the difference between the white here and what's white here. And of course, it's the entire background's all the one solid color. So yeah, definitely would change that. I think I'm going to go around with a darker color. Just around the frame of it once, so that way it's not white on white and you can actually see the stitching in the back. And like I said, if I was to do this pattern again, which it's honestly looking like I'm not going to, I would definitely change the colors of the flowers, just so that way there was more contrast to it. And I would probably change the bee and make it to where it has more color to it, because this is all going to be solid, and I believe this is a flower here. I got it wet at one point or another. This thing has traveled with me since 2022, and it's made it through, let's say that'd be 3 house moves and countless taking ins and taking outs, and I'm finally ready to finish it and get it done. And I know that this pattern is no longer available. I got it off Amazon, super cheap, like $9. That's before I knew that, you kind of get what you pay for with these things. But yeah, so we're gonna roll with it. I worked on it on the long weekend and thought I would get further than what I did, but that's okay. And then I have a very busy week this week. It's my kids' last week of school. You'd think the school would give us breaks, but I swear they pile on more. My daughter ended up getting her accelerated reader, so their AR tests. If they get so many points throughout the year, they get to go on a end of the year trip. And she did it. And we are going to a water park. That's the trip. And then that's Monday. And then, oh my gosh, I don't know how I keep doing this, but I keep like sticking the needle physically through itself. Hold on, let me see if I can't get it. Come on. Okay. It's physically through itself. I don't know if you can see that real well, but it's like knotted on itself. But yeah, so she has that on Monday and she wants me to go with her. So I'm going to be going with her to that on Monday, which I'm not complaining. I'll go to a water park. And then I think I got it. And then they have their field day. I think that one's on Wednesday. And then on Thursday they have a health walk, which like parents and grandparents, basically everybody's invited to come walk the track at the school for an hour and a half. Which, both my kids want me to go to that, so I'll be going and walking the track with them. And then they have their last day on Friday. And that one's just like the award ceremony and that kind of stuff. The award ceremony, you get your, what is that? Report card. You get your report card. And that would be the end of it. But that day, after this award ceremony, we are taking off for a family vacation the same day. So Thursday, before the health walk and everything else goes on, I have to take my dogs to the kennel, which, that's like a 45-minute drive one direction because I'm out in the middle of nowhere. And the kennel is also out in the middle of nowhere, just in a different middle of nowhere than I am. So I have to take them Thursday before the health walk and then go to the health walk. And then the next day, I'm hoping to have most of our stuff packed Thursday. So that's another thing I've got to get going on is packing up. This place is, they don't supply blankets or anything, so that's something that we have to pack as sheets and blankets and all that. So, it's a little bit more packing than just throwing things in a suitcase and calling her good. And I know this year we've decided to bring up it's like a little one, like a tabletop Blackstone. So we're going to be bringing that up with us. What color is that? That's brown. And then I'm also bringing up my countertop ice maker because I want ice while I'm up there. And they don't, unless you're freezing ice cube trays, which, you know, not necessarily a bad thing, but it just ain't me because I always forget to, like, fill them back up, whereas the ice maker just always makes ice. So, you know, it's more packing than if we were just staying at like a Airbnb or whatever. I'm trying to get this dog hair off of here. It's not wanting to go. Come on. But yeah, so we'll be up there for like a week. And then we will be home again on summer break. So I don't really know how many videos I will be able to get up because children are loud. And it seems like every time I put on like my camera, or for my other channel I do video games and stuff, and seems like they don't want anything to do with me until I'm doing something else. So if I can get videos done, they will probably be shorter, a little bit more sporadic. Mostly because my house is very dark. Like right now I have my overhead light on and my windows open, like the blinds or whatever open, so that way the camera is able to pick up the finer detail of what I'm doing. So we will see, because I can't film at night because it's too dark in here. So we'll see. I might just have to wake up extraordinarily early. Like as soon as the sun comes up, I will have to be filming. And it might be like filmed multiple small short videos to make one long-ish video. We will see. We will see how this works for us. Specifically for me. And I know a lot of times the views and stuff slow down in the summer anyway, just because, you know, it's nice outside and you have more things to do. I know that I've kind of slowed down on watching videos and stuff because it seems like every single time I turn around, I got things that I got to be doing, either outside or inside or both. Like, I don't know. It's a lot harder than in the winter time when you don't want to go outside and there's not really much to do while you're out there. But right now I have the garden. So I have the garden, the animals. I just mowed the lawn yesterday. But the back part of our property, because we have quite a bit, we let grow up a little bit too high. So I was out there slowly mowing everything, so that way we don't have an absolute mess out there. And needless to say, we have a mess out there because it's not, there's some areas that are just too high. So it's just, you know, I was going and getting what I could. And then my father-in-law is supposed to be bringing over his tractor and we'll brush hog it and then basically give us a reset button. And we just can't let it go for as long as we did this first time. But, you know, it tends to get away from you every once in a while, especially when you're trying to mow that much. We maintain, I don't know, on a regular basis, probably, I'd say 3 acres out of our 10. And the other 7 acres is like the back part of this. It's a lot. It's just a wide open field, no trees, no nothing. And so the other 7 acres we have to mow. Well, last year we didn't end up getting our last mow in, and we had trees and everything else popping up. And then this year we were a little tardy to the party, so we again had too much grass growth and too much tree growth, so now we got to brush hog it so that way I can maintain it throughout the summer. So I'm lucky that our father-in-law is going to be helping us out with that, because who knows where we would be if he didn't. And then let's just say I'm going to be getting a really nice tan mowing lawn, because even we have a stand-on mower, but I would say at least a quarter of the field plus everything that we normally maintain yesterday. And I was out there for a good 3 hours. So, needless to say, when the rest of the 7 acres is something I have to maintain, it is going to be I'll probably be out there for a solid 4.5 hours at full speed, cranking through it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because like the backfield I'll only have to do maybe once a month. It's very sandy out there, so not a lot grows. It was just fall and spring combined that kind of screwed it over for us for this first cut. But yeah, I'll probably only have to do it like once a month with how sandy and stuff it is out there. And my husband and I were talking about possibly, after we brush hog it, tilling the entire thing to make it to where we can plant something out there. But with the soil being as crappy as it is, we're very limited to what we can plant out there. It's got to be something that doesn't require a whole lot of water and likes sandier soil. Because we actually have, like, you can tell right where the sand riff is in our field. Because there's one big, huge area that is, I would say, probably 85% sand. And you can tell right where it is because, like, even the weeds are dying off in that area. So it's like, there's the sand. Would be nice to find something to grow there. I know my husband had said lavender would grow there, but I don't know how I'd be getting water out there when I have to, because like the first couple of weeks you have to get them established, so it's like that's a lot of water to truck out there. We really don't have the means to do so. But once they're established, they barely take any water. So I told him, I said, you figure it out and I'll do it. But it's one of those things that takes time. The string's getting pretty short. And I'm going to leave everything surrounding this area alone until I get my tiny map out, so that way I don't accidentally screw it up somehow, even though I'll probably still screw it up even with the tiny map. So with everything that I have going on, what is it that you guys have going on for the summer? Any big, huge plans, or just staying home and enjoying the weather? Trips? Because we have just the one trip planned, which is something we do every year around the same time. But this is the first time that we will be going up while my husband started his own business this year, so this is the first time we'll be going up, and he will be leaving his job that he runs completely. You know, when you're not your own boss, you can just kind of put in the time to be gone, and they handle it. Now he's got to figure out how to handle, you know, the calls and whatnot, because where we go is a complete dead zone. You have to actually drive up to the town to get service. So it'll be, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how we're gonna handle this. Like, we're probably gonna be up in town multiple times a day because he's very type A when it comes to that. You know, if he misses a call, he's gotta call him right back. But if you're in a dead zone, how do you know? You drive up to town and you get some service. I'm hoping that this string will finish off this last 4 stitches. Come on, little string, you can do it. I don't know if you guys can actually hear, but my dog is laying next to me and she is snoring like she just worked a 9 to 9. And you know, it's funny because she is one of the laziest dogs. She is a German Shepherd, a working line German Shepherd, but she wants nothing to do with exercise at all, ever. She doesn't play, she doesn't want to run, she literally just sleeps. That's what she does. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's because she's bored. She's bored. This dog ain't bored. I take her outside to play with her, and she just doesn't have the drive to want to play. And she's like a no-nonsense, like, she doesn't want to play. Oh. She doesn't want to play. She doesn't, like, and if I take her for a walk, you know, it's in the backfield or whatever, so they can run and do whatever. She will literally just mosey next to me while my other dog, who is also a German Shepherd, she runs around the entire time. And I think this one decided that she's going to get her exercise through osmosis, because she will walk maybe half the field out there and then decide that she's done. And then it's just, she's good. She'll sit down. She doesn't want to do it anymore. And she's not like severely overweight or anything. I mean, she's a little overweight. But we really, she's been on a diet for like 2 years. Because she did get really chunky. Because she doesn't like to run around and she doesn't like to walk, and she's just, let me put it this way, she would have failed any kind of academy that they put her in, because, my goodness, she's quite the lazy little thing. And then my other dog, we got her, she is 7. She's 7 now. She ended up injuring her shoulder 2 years ago at this point. And I have to basically put her in timeout to get her to stop. because she injured it, and then after that healed, she ended up getting arthritis in her in that joint. So, you know, now she has flare-ups, and I basically got to put her in timeout because she would rather drag her leg around so that way she can run around and play still at her age. And, you know, timeouts are in order when she's having a flare-up, because she won't lay down. Even in the house, she won't lay down. There's always something to do. So kind of sucks having one that's so lazy that she doesn't want to do anything, and then having the other one want to do the things and she can't. You know, if it was the opposite, then it would have worked out a little bit better. But they keep me on my toes, much like my kids. The dogs also keep me on my toes. I'm hoping to get at least this patch and then part of this patch done before I gotta go. I am doing this right before I gotta go pick my kids up from school, because I have been working on getting things cleaned up and put away for when we do leave next week, especially with next week being as busy as it is. Just attempting to get some things in order before we take off. So, and because it's like a whole family vacation, like both of my in-laws go, so my mother and father-in-law go, and then my sister-in-law and her husband go. And then my kids. And so I really doubt I will be I'm more than likely not going to be taking my camera and trying to film. Just too much of a hassle, especially when there's going to be, you know, a flurry of activity and stuff. I will be taking my cross stitching up, and I want to have a start with you guys before I go, because this is actually for my sister-in-law. So I'm not going to be able to work on this as much as I would like to, because if she's around, I'm not going to pull this one out. I will pull out one of my other ones. She is in a different cabin, so I can do it at nighttime when we're in our own cabin, but it would be nice to be able to get a new start with you guys, so that way I actually have something that I'm able to bring out and do, you know, during the day. And I found this, what I find, a cute little design on, cute little design on Amazon again. And it was, I don't know the quality of it, because upon looking into a little bit more, because my daughter wanted to see like the picture, and she zoomed up on it. It was zoomed in on it, like, you know, something I should have been doing. It's definitely an AI image, which shame on me for not looking beforehand, but it kind of made me giggle, because I really try hard not to buy AI, but at this point I'm not going to return it, because I didn't realize it until yesterday, and it got delivered today, which before I sign out of here, I'll show it to you guys. There was a snail on the bottom of the page. So it was this cute little frog sitting on top of a mushroom, and there was another little frog on the bottom, and then what looked like a snail. No sir, the snail has a frog head. So it's literally a shell, like a snail, and it comes up, frog head. And I was like, oh, that's kind of special. Didn't realize this was an AI image. And then, you know, we scrolled past another area, the frog on the bottom. So it would be not the one on the mushroom. That one looks fine, which is, you know, the main focus of the image, which is where I had originally looked and not, you know, looked much further outside of that. The frog on the bottom of the page, however, the frog on the bottom of the page has 2 butts. It's got 2 butts. So I'm going to, when I look at you know, grab it and look at it, I'm going to take the, what is that, the key? I'm going to white out those areas, and I'm going to just draw in what should be there. I will piece it out myself, because I'm not having a frog with 2 butts, and I'm not having a snail with a frog's head on it. I don't know if the snail was meant to be another frog, or if it was actually meant to be a snail, but we shall push through this image and fix it as much as we can, because it is going, the background and stuff is darker. It's like cute little mushrooms with a frog on it, and then it's a night sky, I would assume, and I have no idea how big it is, because there wasn't much of a description, which, you know, should have gave me hints and clues to, hey, this is AI. But for whatever reason, it did not register. And I'm gonna attempt to fix the darn thing as best as I can, because I would like to be able to do it. And hopefully it turns out better than this one. And this one, I'm not even sure if, like, was 2022 huge on AI? I don't know. It seems like we hear about it more and more nowadays, but this very well could have been either that, or it was very poorly made into like a pixelized image. And honestly, it probably would have been a lot better had they increased the number of strings, because then you would have like a little bit more variation and stuff. Because even my crappy Scary Guys one, which I can't call it crappy, it actually turned out really good, had way more colors than this one. I think that one had 30 something. Which, you know, I went to buy a frame for that one and I didn't measure. And I was like, oh, I'll just guess. Apparently, I need to measure, because I picked up an 8x10 frame and I was like, yeah, that looks big enough. No, girl, I'm looking at maybe a 9x12 now that I see it up against an 8x10. So I'm going to have to measure, because I'm not very bright. Apparently, I was like, oh, it can't be any bigger than an 8x10. There's no way. No, at least a 9x12. Which, if that's the case, I mean, I have frames here already, so it won't be that big of a deal. but I was trying to get it hung up on my wall, and definitely not happening in that frame. I almost want to get clips to hold, like, because I roll it. I want to get clips to hold the other side so that way it's not in my way. I feel like I'm constantly battling the other side of this, which I could just work from the top, but even then, pushing it through the bottom, I'm still going to have to pick this side up to get my arm underneath of it. So I don't know how well that'll play out either. Oh, I have the window open and there's just this light breeze and it's so nice. Oh, come on. See, now I got a knot. I knew it. I knew it. Thank you. We're just going to go one at a time. I knew as soon as I started doing the other, I'd be in trouble. Even working from just strictly the top, it was not faring very well. I really hope you guys can hear my dog snoring. We're almost at another cutoff point, and when I reach it, because my camera fills in like films in like 23-minute chunks, I'm gonna, because the newest cross stitch was just delivered today, I'm gonna go outside and bring it in so I can show you guys when this cuts off. I'm hoping to get at least this smaller area done before it does. And also, I would love to know if while you guys are watching this, if you are also stitching or crafting in some other kind of way. Like, I know when I watch cross-stitching videos or like sketch with me videos, that kind of stuff, I'm usually doing something crafty, either stitching along with them or I mean, a lot of times I am stitching or I'm crocheting or, you know, something, and I get to watch the screen a little bit, and then I also get to do a craft of my choice. I do have another painting in the works, but I haven't really been working on it all that much because, like, this to me right now is just super, super easy because I don't have to really bring much out for it. So it would be nice to like bring my painting down here and stuff because I do film upstairs in the art room, but then I'm sequestered. And that room is even darker than down here. Like, the walls are painted dark. It's just a dark room. But yeah, I would like to work on that with you guys a little bit, and I probably will after I come back from vacation. But as for now, like, this is just what I'm enjoying. I am enjoying being able to sit here, not pull a whole lot of stuff out. I can park, you know, 4 or 5 threads and just go until my heart's content. And like with painting and drawing, you know, you got to bring out a lot more stuff than just basically the strings, scissors, and the project itself. So I think that's why I've been really into this, because again, I am a hobby hopper. I don't stick with one thing very long, which is why I've had this since 2022, with it being quarter of the way done. And the other one I had bought in, I think it was 2024, because I got this one and I was enjoying this one and then realized I screwed up the back. So then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to buy one for myself, and started that one and found that one before I found this one in my art room, because I was cleaning out my art room because it still needs to be organized, but it's a little bit better than it was. And I picked up crocheting there for a minute. That one I'm still working on. I'm working on a tapestry blanket for my son. I don't know how else to explain that. That's what it is. It's a tapestry pattern that I changed up to work as a blanket. See if I can't get these last 2 stitches before this is going to cut me off. There's one. And oh no, working under pressure is never good. And there's 2. And we'll park this bad boy right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab the other cross stitch real quick. Let me zoom out so you can see. That's where we made it so far. You can see my mismatched socks now too, sorry. That's where I made it. So I'll be right back. Okay, so it's not looking very good because even the images on the back are really blurry, which, you know, but here, this is what I didn't notice. Okay, let me zoom in. Zoom in. The frog has 2 butts. So it's like supposed to stop here, and it doesn't. So we're gonna fix that. And then here's my snail frog. So I'm gonna fix that as well. I'm gonna take it upwards and I will fix the pattern. But that little guy's cute. The butterflies are pretty. This one's backwards. Oh, the things you don't notice. Like, I was specifically staring at this part and I did not go any further than that. Like, I did not delve deeper, and I've learned. So let me get this open so that way we can see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so this is, I don't even, there's the snail frog right here. So we got to fix this part. And then I don't even see double butt frog over here. I do not see him. Like within the pattern. He's got to be like don't know, there's a fern, a mushroom. He's got to be about right here. Like, he's got to be about right there. Here is, let me zoom out. So we're looking at 160, what would that be? 160, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 168 by 168. The other little frog is still not very clear on here, but I think this is him right here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sheet and photocopy it onto a new piece of paper and physically color him in to the colors he's supposed to be in order to fix him, because it does look like him right there. And then this and my snail frog will be the first things that I stitch and fix on there. We'll leave the backwards butterfly, that's fine. We're looking at 36 different colors. So pretty good range, and everything's clear. Like, I don't know, let me see, yeah. They're clear, they're bright. And the nice thing of it is the edging. Let me get it zoomed in here, come on. The edging, they have already tied off, basically, so that way it doesn't fray. And this is 11 count. So, let me, my bars are in the way, but we got the moon, the background. What else we got in there? Couple of plants up in the corner, both corners. And then the mushrooms, the little guy, the little frog guy there. And then the snail frog, and double butt. Not to be confused with bubble butt, double butt. So, that's the information if you wanted it. This is gonna be quite the project and undertaking, because now that I gotta fix double butt down there and frog snail, that cracks me up right there, the frog snail. But I mean, other than that, it's pretty clear. So it did come with all the necessary floss, and then it came with scissors, a threader, I have no idea what this is, and then quite a few needles. I'm counting, I think 5, like 5 needles. So I mean, it's an okay kit. We just gotta fix a few things, because I'm not having a double butt frog and I'm not having a frog snail. So I will fix those, and then we can start stitching this next time, so that way I can take this one up on vacation with me, so that way you guys can see what a week's worth of progress with me doing absolutely nothing but basically sitting around enjoying family, because I do this while I'm enjoying my family. So yeah, I will catch you guys next time. Bye.